What do you think?
I'm a New York City girl. It's a little too quiet around here for me.
Flash Gordon. Just hearing that name brings back memories of pure 1980s sci-fi madness. But behind those laser battles and that legendary Queen soundtrack lies a production story so chaotic, so unbelievable, that it makes the movie itself look tame by comparison. Today we're diving deep into 20 absolutely wild facts about the 1980 Flash Gordon movie that will completely change how you see this cult classic. And trust me, when you hear what really happened behind the scenes, from the lead actor who disappeared, to the director who lost control of his own film, to the A-list stars who almost took the role, you'll understand why this movie became the beautiful disaster we all secretly love. But before we blast off into space, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're about to save the universe in exactly 14 hours and 55 minutes.
Only next time I won't just ask the maitre d' your name. I'll walk over and talk to you.
You promise?
I promise.
Fact number 1, the star who vanished into thin air. Let's start with the most shocking revelation. When you watch Flash Gordon, you're not actually hearing Flash Gordon. That's right. Nearly every single word spoken by lead actor Sam J. Jones was dubbed by another actor, and audiences had no idea for years. Jones seemed perfect for the role. Former Marine, classic American hero looks, that comic book jawline. But the production turned into a nightmare. Producer Dino De Laurentiis and Jones clashed constantly. The language barrier didn't help. De Laurentiis spoke limited English, and miscommunications piled up daily. Then came the breaking point. During a production break, Jones got into an off-set altercation that landed him in the hospital. When filming resumed, he completed his scenes, but the damage was done.
Promise me if you kill me, you'll team up with Fulton and fight me.
Jones refused to return for ADR, the post-production dialogue recording that's essential for any film. He walked away from the project entirely, skipping all press tours and promotional events. The studio's solution? They hired a voice actor to dub over virtually every line. So, while you're watching Sam J. Jones save the universe, you're actually hearing someone else entirely. It's one of cinema's best-kept secrets. Fact number 2, George Lucas's rejection. Let her change cinema forever. Here's a mind-blowing what if. Star Wars only exists because George Lucas couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon.
She's not getting me.
Don't use your mouth. Use your brain.
I'm with you, Dale. Just concentrate hard and think to me. It's telepathy. Over.
Can this be real? I saw you executed.
I was saved. I'm still alive.
In the early 1970s, Lucas desperately wanted to remake Flash Gordon. He approached King Features Syndicate, pitched his vision, and got rejected cold. The rights holders wanted too much money, and they didn't trust this young filmmaker with their property. So, Lucas did what any creative genius would do. He created his own space opera. He took the serial adventure format, added samurai influences, mystical forces, and created Star Wars. Think about that. No Flash Gordon rights meant Lucas had to invent the Force, the Jedi, the Empire, and everything we associate with that galaxy far, far away. One rejection letter literally changed the course of cinema history.
Do you know where you are?
Up the creek.
You have trespassed where only a tree man may enter.
A stranger in this temple must try the wood beast or die.
Fact number 3, the director who lost his own movie. Mike Hodges came into Flash Gordon late, inheriting a project already in motion. His vision was brilliant, a satirical stylized take that embraced absurdity while maintaining dramatic tension. For a while, it seemed to work, but De Laurentiis had other ideas. He wanted bigger, louder, more spectacular. What started as creative differences became a full coup. Hodges found himself gradually excluded from decisions. Scenes were restructured without his input. By post-production, he wasn't even allowed in the editing room.
Flash, I love you! But we only have 14 hours to save the Earth!
The film was essentially stolen from him, piece by piece. Years later, Hodges would describe watching the final cut as seeing a stranger wearing his clothes. His name was on it, but it wasn't really his film anymore. Fact number 4, the script that didn't exist. Imagine showing up to work not knowing what you're supposed to do that day. That was life on Flash Gordon. The script changed constantly, sometimes multiple times per day. New pages would arrive on set minutes before filming, giving actors no time to prepare. Eventually, the cast gave up trying to learn lines. They started improvising entire scenes. Some actors later admitted they filmed the whole movie without understanding the plot. Timothy Dalton famously said he just showed up and tried to look heroic while saying whatever seemed appropriate. The chaos wasn't hidden. It's right there on screen. That slightly unhinged quality everyone loves about Flash Gordon, that's not acting. That's genuine confusion. Fact number 5, the football fight nobody planned.
Come on! It's time to bail!
One of the film's most memorable sequences, Flash using American football tactics to fight Ming's guards, was completely unscripted. There was no choreography, no stunt coordination, nothing. The director simply told everyone to make it work. The cast threw themselves into it, literally. They tossed fruit, tackled extras, and Brian Blessed started calling actual football plays mid-scene. What should have been a disaster became pure gold. It perfectly captured the film's spirit, organized chaos that somehow works. Fact number 6, Brian Blessed's sound effects department. Brian Blessed didn't just play Prince Voltan, he became him, complete with his own sound effects. During every battle scene, Blessed made laser noises, explosion sounds, and whooshing effects with his mouth. The sound department begged him to stop. He refused.
Oh no, it's another wave of fighters!
Take after take, he'd shout his lines, then add, pew, 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 like an excited child. They had to reshoot entire sequences just to get clean audio. But that infectious energy, that's what made Voltan unforgettable. He wasn't acting like a space warrior. In his mind, he was one. Fact number 7, Max von Sydow's career crisis. When Max von Sydow, the legendary Swedish actor from The Seventh Seal and The Exorcist, signed on to play Ming the Merciless, Hollywood was shocked. This was a serious artist known for working with Ingmar Bergman, and he was about to wear ridiculous costumes and chew scenery in a camp space opera. Von Sydow genuinely worried it would destroy his reputation. He hated the costume, found the tone bizarre, and questioned whether the whole thing was an elaborate joke. But something magical happened. His deadpan delivery and theatrical presence elevated Ming from cartoon villain to genuinely menacing threat. What could have been career suicide became one of his most iconic roles.
What happened to me?
I don't know, but it was pretty sensational.
Remove the Earth Woman. Prepare her for our pleasure.
Fact number 8, the casting carousel of chaos. Before Sam J. Jones got the role, Flash Gordon could have been completely different. Kurt Russell read the script and said it was too silly. Arnold Schwarzenegger auditioned, but nobody could understand his accent. Dennis Hopper was considered, but even for Flash Gordon, he was too weird. The wildest part? De Laurentiis discovered Sam J. Jones on an episode of The Dating Game. Not from an audition, not from an agent, from a game show about finding love. Sometimes the most random choices make history. Fact number 9, the art film that never was. Before it became a camp classic, Flash Gordon was pitched as high art. De Laurentiis first approached Federico Fellini, yes, the surrealist master behind 8 1/2. Then he called Sergio Leone, who'd reinvented the Western genre. Both directors were actually interested. They'd grown up reading Flash Gordon comics in Italy. Fellini took meetings, Leone read scripts, but ultimately, both walked away. They saw where the project was heading, not toward the artistic vision they imagined, but towards something else entirely. They were right to leave, but what we got instead was magnificent in its own chaotic way.
Then why did you come?
I brought you a present. Flash?
Hello.
Welcome back from the grave.
Fact number 10, the wardrobe held together by prayer. Those stunning costumes that looked like million-dollar space armor, they were literally falling apart during filming. Zippers broke mid-scene, wings tore off, helmets cracked in half. The cast had one rule: never stop rolling. If something broke, they incorporated it into the performance. If armor fell off, they kicked it aside and kept going. Most of what looks like intricate costume design is actually emergency repairs with gaffer tape and safety pins. The costume department performed daily miracles just to keep everyone dressed. Fact number 11, Brian Blessed nearly died for real.
In impetuous boy! Ah, well, who wants to live forever?
When Brian Blessed insisted on doing his own flying stunts, nobody expected what would happen. Suspended 30 feet in the air, wearing 40-pound wings, the rigging system failed. He plummeted toward the concrete studio floor. There was no safety net, no crash pad. Pure luck and quick-thinking crew members saved his life. Most actors would have walked away. Blessed got back in the harness the next day. That line, "Who wants to live forever?" When he delivered it, he meant it.
I know it would have been good.
That must be one hell of a planet you men come from!
Not too bad.
Fact number 12, the flood nobody talks about. Midway through production, a pipe burst in the studio. Water poured onto sets, destroyed props, and ruined expensive equipment. Instead of stopping production, they kept filming. One entire sequence in the movie features a flooded set that wasn't supposed to be wet. Watch carefully, and you can spot actors splashing through puddles that shouldn't exist. The atmospheric mist in several scenes, that's actually moisture from water damage. In true Flash Gordon fashion, disaster became part of the magic. Fact number 13, Queen almost didn't happen.
What would you do if I were captive in your kingdom?
The legendary Queen soundtrack almost never existed. De Laurentiis originally wanted Pink Floyd, but when someone mentioned them, he had no idea who they were. Someone handed him a Queen album, he listened for 10 seconds and said in broken English, "Get me the Queens." Queen had just weeks to write and record the entire soundtrack while touring. They wrote in hotel rooms, recorded between concerts, and created one of cinema's greatest soundtracks under impossible conditions. That epic theme song, written in a single afternoon. Fact number 14, the wedding scene. That almost killed the movie. Ming's wedding to Dale Arden pushed boundaries that censors couldn't ignore. The threatening dialogue, the implied violence, the sexual undertones. Multiple countries nearly banned the film entirely. Ireland and Singapore led the charge, demanding massive cuts. The scene was too real, too dark for what was supposed to be campy fun. The studio fought to keep it intact and barely won. But in some countries, that scene alone got the film restricted to adult audiences only.
Attention all wedding guests. There is no cause for alarm. The city's weapons are being fired in continuous salute in honor of His Imperial Majesty's wedding.
Fact number 15, banned for black magic. In Malaysia and several Middle Eastern countries, Flash Gordon wasn't just edited. It was banned completely, not for violence or sexuality, but for perceived occultism. Ming's rituals, the circular symbols, the religious imagery combined with his godlike presence triggered censorship boards. To Western audiences, it was camp. To certain cultural contexts, it looked like black magic propaganda. It remains one of the strangest censorship cases in science fiction history. Fact number 16, the comic creator who disowned it. Al Williamson, who illustrated the Flash Gordon comics and helped define the character's look for generations, went to see the movie on opening night. He left in silence and never spoke about it publicly again. To him, the film missed everything that made Flash Gordon special. The nobility, the heroism, the genuine adventure, replaced by camp and comedy. For purist fans, his rejection was devastating. The man who drew Flash Gordon for decades wanted nothing to do with the movie. Fact number 17, the producer who didn't speak English. De Laurentiis' English was so limited that most of his creative decisions were based on visual instincts alone. He couldn't read the script properly, didn't understand the dialogue, and communicated through translators and gestures. Every major decision, from casting to music to final edit, was made on gut feeling and visual impact. The film's chaotic energy, that's literally the result of a language barrier turned into artistic vision.
Oh, it's so crazy. Last time I saw you, I prayed it was a dream. This time I'm praying it's not. Are you okay?
I am now.
Me too.
Fact number 18, America rejected it, Britain saved it. When Flash Gordon opened in America, it flopped hard. Critics destroyed it, audiences avoided it, and it disappeared from theaters quickly. But in the UK, something magical happened.
Gordon's alive!
British audiences embraced the absurdity. It played on TV constantly, became required viewing for sci-fi fans, and Queen's soundtrack dominated the charts. What America saw as failure, Britain recognized as genius. the UK single-handedly kept Flash Gordon alive until the rest of the world caught up. Fact number 19. The Queen of England's guilty pleasure. Brian Blessed swears this is true. Queen Elizabeth II loved Flash Gordon. She allegedly watched it repeatedly with her grandchildren and could quote Blessed's lines perfectly. "Gordon's alive!" became a royal family in-joke. There's no official confirmation, but Blessed insists she told him personally at a reception. Imagine the Queen of England sitting in Buckingham Palace, watching Flash Gordon and shouting, "Dive!" at the screen.
Gently, darling. It's extremely sensitive. Like me.
What's that?
That's the planet Aquaria.
Fact number 20. The film that inspired modern blockbusters. Flash Gordon failed at the box office but succeeded at something bigger. It inspired a generation of filmmakers. Taika Waititi credits it for teaching him that films could be silly and sincere simultaneously. Edgar Wright learned about musical storytelling from its Queen soundtrack. And James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy is essentially Flash Gordon's spiritual successor. These directors didn't just watch Flash Gordon, they studied it. They learned that breaking rules could work, that camp and quality weren't mutually exclusive, and that sometimes the best films are the ones that shouldn't work but do. Flash Gordon wasn't supposed to survive. It was too weird, too chaotic, too everything. The lead actor vanished, the director lost control, the script didn't exist, and nobody knew what they were making. It should have been a disaster. Instead, it became immortal, not because it followed Hollywood's rules, but because it destroyed them. In an era of careful calculations and focus groups, Flash Gordon was pure chaos captured on film. And somehow, that's exactly what we needed. 40+ years later, we're still talking about it, still quoting it, still trying to understand how something so wrong went so right. That's not just a movie, that's magic. So the next time someone tells you Flash Gordon is a bad movie, remind them. Sometimes bad is just another word for brave. And in a world of safe, predictable blockbusters, we need more films willing to grab a football and take on an alien empire. What's your favorite Flash Gordon moment? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, keep watching the skies and keep embracing the chaos.